Google I.O. just ended a couple of hours ago, and before we bore you with a full edition of Google of the Pocket Now Daily, let's just talk about it separately. I'm Jaime Rivera with Pocket Now, and these are our first impressions of everything we considered hot from Google I.O. Google I.O. was kicked off by the company's CEO, Sundar Pichai, and it was rather interesting to hear about the company's history. 17 years ago, 300 million people were connected through computers. Now it's 30 billion people, out of which 50% of these come from mobile. 20% of the search queries come from voice. And that was the perfect segue to the hottest news today. And I know it's odd for me to start with that, but everything else would make sense. It was Google Assistant. Mainly the fact that this is actually for the first time a true assistant, somebody, or should I say something, you can actually have a conversation with. You get asked different questions, it could interact with you. It has full context of where you are, what you're asking about, and search queries you've done in the past. It's actually, in a way, your own Google, as Sundar mentioned it at the event. It's something that actually is tailored to you. Probably the coolest thing about this is that it's not limited to just search queries. It's limited to a ton of things, and obviously it's a work in progress. Siri tells you it's a digital assistant, but this is 10 times bigger than Siri. We don't even know how Apple plans to compete with this. This is probably the best way that an assistant should have been approached from the start, but obviously the technology wasn't there, and we can't wait to see what we get later this year. Now, even though we didn't have many expectations for the whole Internet of Things and Google, the company is planning to take over your home. They were actually candid enough to say that Amazon pioneered this with the Echo, and now they came up with Google Home. It's a speaker. It can actually play music for you, true, but this speaker uses the Google Assistant to be able to be useful to you. So for example, if you want to control the speakers in one specific room, or in all your rooms, you can do so through Google Cast. If you want to watch a specific video on a specific television, you can do so through Google Cast. If you want to ask it questions about your schedule or whatever you want, depending on whatever you offer control for, you could pretty much use Google Home to be able to do this. And obviously, you can set up as many as you want. It is a very interesting product. We obviously don't know a price tag. We don't know when it will be launched, but it's definitely something that would make you want to not just buy Google Home, but to have Chromecast on all your TVs, Chromecast audio on all your speakers, and just have everything connected in a very convenient way. And yeah, believe it or not, Google just launched another messaging service. It's called Google Allo. It's supposed to compete in a certain degree with WhatsApp. You connect it through your phone number. But it's got some added benefits, like for example the fact that it focuses on your expression. Like for example, you can add different sizes to text in order to imply that you're shouting or whispering. You can also use Google Assistant with smart replies. For example, you're leaving the subway, you can't really text at the moment. It's smart enough to detect what photos have been sent through the conversations. It's smart enough to detect smarter ways to respond to whatever is within the conversation. It's really smart. You can use Google Assistant in addition to that to be able to book movie tickets, open table reservations. It seems extremely promising, mainly because of that Google Assistant connection. We can't wait to see what we get there, but Google Duo is the other application. It's pretty much a FaceTime competitor, but smarter. It's got this knock-knock feature that actually allows you to see people that are trying to connect with you, just to add a little more anticipation to the video call. Looks really nice. It was also designed for lower bandwidth, and it's smart enough to adapt to it. Let's just see if that actually works. Now let's move the spotlight over to Android, starting with Android Wear 2.0. It's a major change. It's coming later this year. And the whole idea here is that third-party applications will now be able to be native for the operating system. In addition, these third-party applications will be able to add information to your watch face. You want your fitness data, everything, sort of like complications on the Apple Watch, only this seems to work better. There's also some added additional benefits with, for example, fitness. In addition to communications, you now get a keyboard for messaging, etc. It seems very promising, but another major deal was made about Android VR. The fact that Android and smartphones will be optimized for VR. The fact that there will also be standalone VR headsets with the inclusion of a controller that can track wherever you're pointing at. The fact that you now don't need to exit the VR environment. You have access to a full version of the Google Play Store within VR to be able to communicate. Applications will be enhanced for VR, and content will also be enhanced for VR in a very cool way. Again, other things that we cannot wait to see with Android N. Obviously, one of the hottest news for us today was Android N. Google even explained why it launched it early for developers. There were so many changes that the company needed to offer it for developers early. And that's great. We see support for Vulkan for gaming, which is great, file-based encryption as well. But Android N is mainly about productivity, mainly about making the life experience better for the user when interacting with Android, starting with multi-window support. Picture-in-picture support, even though apparently that's only coming to Android TV, which is weird. But yeah, you can now even correct whatever you want to receive in notifications from the notification tray. And just a lot of different little things, like for example, being able to switch between applications from the multitasking button quickly. Just double tap it and it'll switch you around. Obviously, multi-window support is what we care about most, and even though you think that this looks a lot like Marshmallow or Lollipop, there is a lot of change within the operating system to make it more practical, from the way it installs to the fact that you don't have to wait after you update the operating system. You know, that Android updating window, apparently that's going away. But anyways, there is a lot to look forward to. We cannot wait to show it to you right now that the full beta is available. But hey, it leads me to the question of this video. What was your favorite announcement at Google I/O today? What are you looking forward to the most? I'm not gonna lie to you, for me it's Google Assistant. I feel that Google just pretty much shot Siri. They just pretty much destroyed everything that Apple started with Siri and just taught Apple how digital assistants should be. But obviously, we have to try it out. Leave us a comment down below. We'd love to know your opinion. That's it for our first impressions video. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you follow us on social media and hit that subscribe button down below for more videos like this one. In addition, you can also catch our videos on Vessel, vessel.com/pocketnow, and follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera, or on Instagram at Jaime Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.